Well, hey guys, today we're in Parkway Memorial Cemetery in Ridgeland, Mississippi. We're here to learn a little bit about the life and the career of Mississippi's 60th governor, Kirk Fordice. Governor Fordice was born on February 10th, 1934. Before we get going too far, let me remind you to hit that like button if you think you like this kind of content. Fordice was definitely a political conservative. He ran on an anti-crime, low-tax, pro-business, and like most politicians in that era, family values platform. He received 51% of the vote in 1991 as a Republican, making him Mississippi's first Republican governor since Reconstruction. He was reelected in 1995, making him the first Mississippi governor to serve 2 consecutive terms. Before serving as governor, he studied civil engineering at Purdue University. He earned his master's degree in 1957. He served in the U.S. Army for 2 years and in the Army Reserves until 1997, retiring as a colonel. Fordice took control of his father's construction company, where he created a building division that mostly focused on industrial structures. In 1980, he created a bridge division. He relied pretty heavily on federal construction contracts, so he became a member of various construction trade groups. He was president of Associated General Contractors of America in 1991. He had joined the Republican Party during the '64 presidential campaign, and in 1982 he was elected secretary of the Mississippi Republican Party. Fordice won the Republican nomination in October of 1991. In the general election, he faced a Democrat incumbent named Ray Mabus. While campaigning, he talked a whole lot about legislative term limits and welfare reform. He labeled his opponent as a liberal who focused too much on education. Fordice won the general election, of course, and was inaugurated on January 14, 1992. He vetoed the Education Enhancement Act of 1992, but the legislature overrode his veto. He was reelected in 1995 while he advocated tax cuts and the abolishment of affirmative action, reductions in welfare, expanded capital punishment, tougher prison conditions, and the building of more prisons. He was injured in a car wreck on November 5th, just after the election. He was discovered to have been accompanied by his outside woman, an old high school sweetheart. Fordice refused to discuss any increase in public school pay raises, even though Mississippi ranked 49th in the nation. When teachers threatened to strike, he ordered that any teacher who went on strike be immediately fired. He left office on January 11th, 2000. Fordice and his wife of 44 years, Pat Fordice, divorced. And after he left office, he married his high school sweetheart. At one point in 1993, he announced that he had irreconcilable differences with his wife, and his wife just said simply that she was not going to get a divorce. In June of 1999, Fordice's long-running affair with his high school sweetheart was reported because they had been recently photographed returning from a vacation together. Outside the governor's private residence in Madison, a WLBT reporter asked Fordice about his personal life. The governor went, I guess you could call it viral, by telling the reporter he would whoop his tail, except for he didn't use the word tail. Later that year, he announced he was divorcing his wife, the mother of his 4 children. Pat Fordice apologized to the state of Mississippi for being a partner in a marriage that has become a source of embarrassment for Mississippi. Fordice and his sweetheart were married, and they divorced in 2003. He died from leukemia on September the 7th, 2004, at 70 years old. He had reconciled with his first wife, Pat, or at least she took care of him in the last year of his life. She and her 4 children were at his side when he passed away. Well, I hope you've learned a little bit about Mississippi's first Republican governor since Reconstruction today. Thank you.